All right, here we go again, people. So grab your coffee, buckle up, and make sure the irony detectors are fully operational, because I'm about to take us back on that little journey to the time when common sense wasn't an endangered species. Do you remember that era? I mean, back before people had to label "do not eat" on packets of silica gel, before every life situation came with a warning and a 5-step manual. Yeah, I'm talking that era. I'm talking about Generation X, baby. I mean, we're raised in that world where, good luck was pretty much the only safety advice of the day. You see, we didn't have today's soft landings, endless hand holdings, and safe spaces. Nah, we had the school of hard knocks, where figure it out was the motto and tough love meant love, but with extra toughness and zero handouts. There was no, "Oh, honey, you fell off the bike. Let me hug away the pain." Hell no, there was just a nod and, well, you better pedal faster next time so you don't lose balance, dumbass. And I gotta say, remember the playground survival training of dodgeball. Now, this wasn't just a game. This was a life lesson, folks. If you didn't want to get hit, you learned to either dodge or to aim that rubber ball straight back at the kids that were throwing it at you. These days, dodgeball seems to have been replaced with nothing but things like conflict resolution workshops. Conflict resolution. You know what we called conflict resolution? Winning. End of story. When we were kids, safety meant, at the most, do not run with scissors. Maybe if you had strict parents, wear a helmet while biking, and bloody well, don't set the house on fire. And in fact, even that last one was sometimes more of just a suggestion than an actual rule. We didn't have car seats that looked like they could survive re-entry from space. Nah, we had mom's arm flinging itself across our chests in that half-hearted attempt to keep you from bouncing off the frickin' dashboard. And yet here we are, fully grown, shockingly alive, and apparently still capable of critical thinking. So yeah, let's talk about this critical thinking for a second. Apparently, it's a rare skill these days. You see, we were the Latchkey kids, the walk it off generation, the here's a house key and hope you make it home generation. Our parents were not monitoring our every move. Heck, half the time they didn't even know where we were. We were home alone for hours after school with nothing but frozen pizza and a TV we actually had to get up to change the damn channels on. And yet we managed to figure it out. And nowadays, kids can't even tie their own shoes without a frickin' tutorial off of YouTube. Oh, how times have changed, I tell you. Need to know how to change a tire? There's an app for that. Forget learning anything on your own. Why? Because technology has rescued us from having to use our brains. Problem solving? Who the hell needs that? Just ask Siri, Alexa, or Google to do it for you. And this is where I say back in the day. Back in the day, we didn't need a manual for every little thing. Need a job? Walk in and ask for one and hope they don't check your references too closely. You didn't need a personal branding strategy or self-care days to prepare you for the brutal hardship of part-time employment. You needed a shirt with a collar and the ability to mumble through an interview without sounding like you just crawled out of bed. And this self-care bullshit, don't even get me started. Gen X idea of self-care was sitting in your car alone for 5 minutes to escape your responsibilities or grabbing one extra coffee before you went home at the end of the day. We didn't need mindfulness apps or breathwork specialists. No, we had caffeine, sarcasm, and sheer willpower to just get through it. And I gotta bring it up again, the participation trophies for a second. Yeah, the ones today's kids are collecting like frickin' Pokemon. You know what kind of trophy you got when you came in last place in our day? A lesson in humility and a hot reminder that maybe you're not as great at everything as your mom told you were. And it stung. And you either got better or you learned to laugh about it. But either way, it wasn't some freebie award just for showing up. But no, now we're the odd ones out. The weirdos. If you say just walk it off, people look at you like you're heartless. Don't you care about their feelings? Well, sure, I care, but your feelings aren't an excuse to ignore reality. You don't like losing? Tough. Neither did we, but we dealt with it. And let's be real, the stakes back then weren't even that high. Most of us were just trying not to get left behind when the streetlights came on. And now I gotta mention these frickin' emotional check-ins. Back in the day, my dad's idea of an emotional check-in was, why are you crying? Did someone die? And if the answer was no, then the tears better hell dried up real quick. And these days, you can't even raise an eyebrow without giving someone trauma. Heaven forbid anyone have to face a challenge without a prey to people to validate them. Come on, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that people don't have real struggles. Of course they do. But Gen X motto was, life is tough, suck it up. We didn't need the world's smallest violin playing in the background because we had a bad day. You power through, you keep going, and if you're lucky, you find a friend to grab a drink at the end of it all. The sad fact of it is, Gen X has become the last line of defense. We're the generation that hasn't forgotten what it's like to take a punch and keep moving. And yeah, we're not quiet about it either. We're grumpy, we're sarcastic, and we're old school in a world that wants everything to be soft and gentle. And here's the real kicker of it all. The world needs us. Because while everyone else is busy perfecting their selfie game and curating their personal brand, we're out here actually solving problems, calling out nonsense and bullshit, and refusing to be cowed by the latest trend. Gen X is the last stand at common sense, and we're not about to go quietly. So yeah, we might be a grumpy generation, the ones telling everyone to get a grip while sipping our coffee with eye rolls. And if that makes us the bad guys, so be it. We've been called worse, because as long as we're around, there's at least one generation left that still knows how to laugh at a stupid joke, walk it off, and tackle life without needing a round of applause. So here's the Generation X, the last bastion of sanity, the only people left who can face reality without a motivational quote plastered on it. And if anyone doesn't like it, well, we'll be over here drinking our coffee, watching the world spiral, and saying, "Told you so." I'll catch you next time. Peace out.